Hey, you're Mutonia. The three system sales engine, how to generate more leads, more sales, and more referrals without relying on ads. So, a business exists to create a customer. This comes from a guy by the name of Peter Drucker. And I like to add, it's not just to create a customer, but then to keep a customer. So, a lot of local businesses, they plateau or decline, and there's a couple of reasons for that. 70% of badges are wasted due to poor tracking. 80% of leads are never followed up after, let's say, 48 hours, and 90% of businesses have no referral system in place. So, as humans, what we typically do is we chase these shining objects, these new, fresh things, and exciting stuff. But actually, there's a gold mine sitting in your business just waiting to be mined. And this is what I'm going to share with you today. So some businesses rely on ads for sales and forget the system behind it, and that's quite dangerous. The reason it's dangerous, the ad platforms keep on changing. Google is changing, Facebook is changing, LinkedIn, name it, TikTok, Instagram, name it. They all keep on changing. And many times the business only focuses on getting new leads, not tracking it, not following up properly, and they're not nurturing the database. And they never build a referral engine. Now, the thing is, without structure, your marketing becomes guesswork. This is why we put together a thing called the marketing machine to help get specific structure because the ad platforms keeps on changing. If there's one thing we know that's going to happen, it is that the platforms will definitely change. So imagine your business have got a self-running sales engine. Leads are flowing in automatically. Clients return and they spend more, and you're getting reviews and referrals to bring more customers to your business every month. Because people trust familiarity. so the goal is repeat behavior. This book, influenced by Robert Cialdini, they talk about the click-run principle. In essence, what that means is that we as humans, we don't want to rethink everything all of the time. We want to say, cool, I've made a decision, and in future, I'll just repeat that process to make the same decision. So it becomes a click-run principle. When this happens, I just do that. It's like a local shopping center. Well, if they keep on supplying you the right product, you'll keep on going there. You're not going to really look around until one day, then you get there, it's not there. You need to look for it somewhere else, and now the click-run changes. So every business is built on three core systems. And when you get these, let's call it gears, locked in, growth becomes effortless. So what are the three core systems? The first one is new business, and that's what's called lead generation. Second one is customer retention, more sales from current clients. And then the last one is referrals and reviews. So you're turning your clients into promoters of your business. Now, in your business, what you want to do is you want to measure and track results. And uh, there's so many things you could track and so many things that you could look at. I like to simplify stuff. So if you think about the system and you think about the focus and you think about the primary metric, lead generation is about new opportunities. So it's focused on getting people to put up their hand and saying they're interested. There, your primary metric is cost per lead and your conversion rate. Retention is existing customers. How much repeat business are you getting it from there? So you could then say repeat purchase rate. And then referrals and reviews, word of mouth. How many referrals did you get and how many reviews did you get in the month? So the first system is to generate leads. What we typically use is Google Ads and Facebook Ads. If you've got a website and forms on there and chatbots, we're seeing that works quite well. Then you want to have an automated follow-up system, SMS, WhatsApp, email type stuff. Track every lead, and that is from the day become a lead to quote to sell. And you want to not just focus on you want to focus on the data. So you want to see what the data is actually telling you, and the way to do that is to actually have the data together. So it's not just about traffic and views, it's actually looking at the data. So turning ads and attention to predictable sales, it means that the key data that you want to do is business using a follow-up automation. What we see there is 4 to 6 more quotes are accepted. So if you've got an automated process and you follow up and do those things, you get better results there. Conversion rates increase, could be 212% when you follow up within 5 minutes. This is from a study that was done a while back. And the psychology there is speed equals trust. People buy typically from people who respond first. I know with property or real estate, there was the one stat that I read the other day that said that if you're a real estate agent and you're the first one that responds, then 80% of people decide on the first one, first real estate agent to go with them to list their property. So the faster you respond, the better the chances are that you will be able to get the sale. Action steps. So what we typically see works really, really well is to capture every lead from wherever, from WhatsApp, from Facebook. Now, just capture all of them. The one client I know, when we did this, I thought they had 20 leads a month. Turned out they had more like 80 to 90 leads. So that made a huge difference for them. Then you want to automate instant response. So you want to get to the client as quick as possible. Track from lead to quote to sale. So you want to have a process to be able to track that, because then that will give you the data to make more informed decisions. And then you want to measure and optimize this weekly. You don't want to get to the end of the month and say, gee whiz, where did the month go? You want to track this on a weekly basis just to make sure that you're on track with all the numbers that you have. So lead volume versus the perfect lead. This is a fantastic discussion for me. I like to go for lead volume, and the reason for that is the data supports it. So let's say, for instance, you get 100 leads. 60 of them are okay. So 40 of them you can't help at all. You close 10% of those, so a bit of a lower closing rate, and you've got 6 sales. So if one drops off, you've got a 1 in 6 sale if that happens. So that's the risk in the business. But if you try and focus just to get the perfect leads, and let's say you've got a higher percentage close, so 30%, you get 3 sales in that case. And if one drops off, it's actually got a bigger impact in your business. That's 1 out of 3. So what you want to do is, and how we do it is we follow the IBM principle, which is you've got a lead, then you've got a marketing qualified lead, and then you've got a sales qualified lead. So the first thing you want to do is you actually want to get enough volume of leads coming into your business, because then you can see, and the data can give you feedback on what actually is happening. If you only got 1 or 2 leads in a month, you don't get the repetition, you don't get the volume. You can't really see what's working, what's not working. So you do want volume. And then when you've got the volume, you start creating what we call friction. So you change your form. Instead of asking just for a name and email, maybe you say, okay, cool, we need to ask a bit more details. And typically when you do that, when you add friction, when you make it more difficult for a company or a person to reach out to you, you better get a better quality lead. And then you start changing the questions, and you look at your sales process to pre-qualify, and when a salesperson talks, and just qualification and stuff. But before any of that, you want lead volume. You want to have enough of those conversations, because otherwise you'll never read. The data won't be enough to tell you actually what's going on. And then unlock the sales hidden in your client list. More sales more frequently. It's not just about getting more business in. Or new clients in. It is actually unlocking the hidden sales that you're really sitting there with. And this is where many local businesses have actually got hidden cash just sitting there. And the easiest sale that you'll ever make is from a happy customer. You might have heard this stat that says it costs 5 times more to get a new client compared to making a sale to a current client. So the second system that you want to have in place is more sales from current clients. So 68% of customers leave to perceived indifference, which means that they didn't feel or that they didn't feel that their needs or their concerns were valued, or even they just forgot about you. So it's not always about price. We sometimes think it's price. It's not. Selling to an existing customer, like we say, is 5 times cheaper than finding a new one. It still does cost money, so we need to remember that. And then there's one client, they sent out something that just like, in the first week, they did 250,000 in sales from the current clients. So that worked out quite nice. And then familiarity creates safety. So if they're happy with you, there's a good chance they'll buy from you again. So if we talk about selling to existing clients, it's cheaper. We need to know it's still going to cost money. We still need to do stuff. So if it's 500 Rand to get a new sale, then for a new client, then a fifth of that is 100. And then I'm going to ask the question, but what activities are we actually doing? Because that's in the second system. So action items you can take is thank you, review message after each job or work has been completed. You You can have like a reactivation every 90 days, monthly newsletters, and then even have a loyalty trigger after, let's say, 3 services, something happens. System 3 that you want to do is turn happy clients into your best salespeople. So if I told you that I sing very well, you're not going to believe me. But if a singer out there says, hey, let's welcome Johan, he's an upcoming singer, you're going to believe that person more than what you're going to believe me. So 84% of customers trust referrals over ads. For example, 10 Google reviews could have a 21% increase in your conversion rate. So there's one client, they're part of a group, and they have got so many great reviews that other people just want to buy from them. They don't want to buy from other places because, even if they offer the same thing and the same service, because of their reviews, they want to buy from them. So it works. And their psychology is people mirror social proof, and we buy and validate from what others tell us, and give us feedback on. So the action steps: automate review requests. So when you've done some work, you want to automate that. Track referral leads. So you want to have a process or a system in place to do that. Reward clients to refer new business to you, and then showcase your reviews. If somebody is giving you great reviews, put it out in places, because it's not you saying you're awesome, it's actually somebody else saying you're awesome, and people trust that more. And when referrals and reviews are built into your system, your business grows. It is other people saying you're awesome. In essence, what these 3 systems do is like pillars in your business. They work together. They need to work together to give you the best result. And this gives you predictable growth, less stress, more profit, because you'll get more leads and higher sales conversions, repeat business on autopilot, you'll get more referrals and 5-star reviews, and a key thing is you'll be less dependent on the ad platforms, because the ad platforms keeps on changing. So if we know that the ad platforms are changing all the time, how dependent are you on your advertising actually working? So what we did was we created the lead gen calculator, and the whole idea is we want to know what's our sales target. We want to understand the percentage of people, that's the current clients, that's actually buying from us on a monthly basis. What's that? And then we need to work out what is our cost per sale. How much does it cost us to get another sale into a business? And then from there, we can then calculate what's the gap from what our sales target is and the sales we're getting from current clients, and how much we need to actually spend on our ads to make it working. Cool. So let's do this. So let's say, for instance, your sales target is 500,000 a month, and 50% of that comes from your current clients. Your average sales value is 10,000. So how much does it cost to generate the sale? It's 2,000. Now with that, we can work out what your lead generation budget needs to be. So on the 500,000, it means 250,000 comes from your current customers, and 250,000 comes from your lead generation. To hit that 250,000 lead generation, you need to spend around about 50,000 a month. Okay. Now here's the thing. If your business has got a smaller client base, so instead of 50% of repeat business, you've got 10%, that means, in this case, all else being equal, in this case, you need to spend 90,000. So that's 40,000 more than before to reach the same goals, because your current customers is paying less. Now, because you're spending so much more on ads and to generate new business, you are more dependent on the ad platforms, which means when they move, your business moves, and that creates this fluctuation that you've got, and dependence on the ad platforms. Because if you think about Google Ads, it's an auction, so you're competing with other people in the market. If you think about Facebook ads, there's not just one company advertising, so you're competing against attention. So all of these things keep on moving, and depending on who's spending the most, they typically get the most attention. You might have heard, we're in an attention economy. That's exactly what it is. But let's say, for instance, your sales target is still 500,000, but 80% of that comes from your current customers. Look at this. Now you can spend 30,000 less, because the gap is a lot less. You just need to make 100,000 sales from your lead generation. So now suddenly you're a lot less dependent on Google ads and Facebook ads and all of these other things, because you've got a strong customer base. Not only that, you actually start building a business that's a lot more valuable, because if you want to sell your business at some point, and the person looks at the business and they can say, hey, gee whiz, you've got a strong customer base, that increases the value business. Because big businesses have a client base. Think about this. The banks, Netflix, Apple, Microsoft, all of these guys, they've actually built up a huge client base that keeps on buying on a monthly basis. They are not dependent on ad platforms. They do, however, keep on marketing. The reason for this is because Coca-Cola a long time ago, they said everybody knows us, and they stopped advertising and sales went down. So people forget about it. Even if it's a big company like a Coca-Cola or any of these places, they keep on marketing because otherwise people forget about them. Okay. But yeah, then people say, but yeah, Johan, I'm not a big business. That's true. You know, big business is just about size. It is the business principle that's still at work. So we need to ensure that we're actually following those principles. So here's a step-by-step action plan for you. The first one, identify which system is the weakest, because that's your focus point. A quick win, focus on that one and do some work there. Systemize it. Don't just do one thing, put a system in place, like a core system, put that in place and start working it, and then start tracking it. And then to scale it, we typically start using AI just to help with that scalability, because it's so powerful. Now, I know people then say, hey, but I don't have the time to set this up. And that's why we've created a system, so you don't have to. More actions are automated. You'll spend less time chasing leads and more time closing. Our system saves hours a week by handling follow-ups, reminders, and reviews for you. So it makes it a lot easier. We can't afford this right now. Well, you can't afford keep wasting what you already have. It's like a leaking toilet. If there's a leaking toilet, it can run into hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of lost money and water. And the same with a sales and marketing process. If it's leaking, you're losing money, a lot of it. So it's ideally that you want to go in and fix that. Not building a custom database keeps you buying, keeping buying, means you'll end up paying more and more and more on your ads because you're becoming a lot more dependent on it, and it fluctuates. So you want to start building your customer base. So that's critical for your business. And then our average client sees a 3 to 5 times return within 30 days. And some clients even doubles and triples their turnover, like this client who went from 150,000 to 450,000 a month. And the clinch here is this was on the same advertising budget. We didn't change the advertising budget. It's just putting that in place. I don't have a team on the energy to manage now a system. Well, it basically runs in the background. It's like an employee that never sleeps. It just keeps on working. Your competitors are scaling up, so getting your team on board and developing their skills pays dividends. Some clients say it's the first employee that never forgets about the lead. So that's quite cool. We tried other agencies or systems, and it didn't work. Don't want to go through that again. So you keep your website and your ads. We simply connect some missing pieces together. This is why we've structured it that way. It's not a big change. It's more alignment. If your staff can browse the internet, send mail, do online banking, buy stuff online, they should be able to do this. And we also have a mobile app, so you actually take it with you. Sounds technical. I'm not good with tech. I understand that. This is built for business owners, not IT people. We install and set up everything for you. You'll see a simple dashboard that shows you leads, quotes, and sales. And what you do is you follow a basic sales pipeline process. So we've really simplified that. Will this fit with our type of business? Well, that depends. It's based on sound business principles, and that's a key thing. And we can adjust the process to fit with your with some of your steps. How is this different from normal marketing or another agency? Well, agency sells ads. We build systems with ads. That makes a big difference. The goal is helping build a business with more clients and be less dependent on ads. I'm not saying stop your advertising. I'm saying just be less dependent, make your business more valuable. So ads bring traffic, but the system is what actually creates the cash into your business. And we combine automations and follow-ups and database marketing so you can get more sales from every contact. Does this work in South Africa? For my market, well, we mainly work with local businesses in South Africa, and all our case studies are local. And we show real dashboards, numbers, and of leads and sales ratios and reviews. So you'll see the data on your dashboard too. So in essence, this is what we do. We do lead generation. So that's to help you get new business, Google ads and Facebook ads typically. Then we look at customer retention, more sales from your current clients. That's our marketing machine, remarketing, email, SMS, and WhatsApp type things. And then how do you get more referrals and reviews? So Google My Business reviews. We use email, SMS, WhatsApp type of automations there. So if you're ready for the next step, my guarantee, oh, gee whiz, look where I'm sitting there. Let me just move that. Top right, cool. So my guarantee is if we can't help, I'll say so. We can't help everybody. I need to look at your business, understand where you are, look at demand in the market, those types of things. If we can help, I'll definitely say so and say, cool, this is what we can do. And we'll take it from there. So that's what I've got for you today. Thank you so much for watching. And remember, keep on marketing. Cheers.